In this video, I'm going to cover how to insert a program timer and show you where to access the timer information as well as storing that timer data into a register. So first thing we're going to do is I've got my shape program here. We're just going to go ahead and run it so we can see what that looks like. So now to insert my timer, I'm going to put a couple lines in. So I'm going to go over next, edit command, and insert. I'm going to put 3 lines up top, and then I'm going to put 3 lines at the bottom. So the first thing we need to do is reset the timer at the top of the program. So we're going to go to instruction, down to miscellaneous, and then timer. And then we have 20 different timers that we can choose to put inside of here. And I'm just going to go ahead and use timer 1. And then I have 4 options here that I can do with my timer. So reset is going to reset it back to 0. Start it will start the timer once the instruction is executed, and then stop would be it stops the timer once that instruction is executed. The 4 dots is for customization, so we can start and stop a timer off of an output or the current state of another I/O signal, stuff like that. So we're going to go ahead and do reset. That's going to reset our timer. And then at the top of my program, before I start it, we would want to go down back to miscellaneous. There's timer, and then timer 1, and then we're going to choose start. So once I execute line 2, it'll start the timer and then go into my program. And then after the program or those positions have been executed, we'll go to instruction, and we're going to put another timer instruction in here. Timer 1 again, and then we're going to do stop. So I'll put this in double display, and on my right side, I'm going to access my status menu where those timers can be found. You go to menu, 0 next, status, and then we have PRG timer, which stands for program timer. So here are those timers that we have, and we can include a comment in these. So we can call this square shape timer. So now when I execute, I should be able to see my count data in here running. Here's the count, it says 3.2 seconds. And as soon as it stops, it's going to execute. So again, I'm going to put this in step. We'll run it. So my timer's been reset. Now my timer starts. Notice, based off of my positions, it only is going to start timing when we're executing an instruction. As I'm sitting here waiting, my time count is not going to execute. We'll stop the timer, and that ends it. So now I'm going to take this timer data and move it to a register. So after my timer stops, I'm going to go to instruction and then registers, register equals. I'm going to use register 1. So we have 100 registers by default that we can use to store numerical data into. Best way to think of it is like a storage folder. And we can take that register data and send it to a PLC using a group output instruction if we wanted to. But for now, we're just going to equal that register to the timer. So we're going to tell it what timer we want it to be. So timer 1. And now I'll put it in triple display so we can see all of it. Timer records in our program timer still. But to get to our registers, there's 2 different ways. We can go to data, and it pulls up the registers by default. So I'm going to go ahead and name this register square shape timer. And when I execute line 11, we're saying, hey, take this timer data, put it inside of this register. We'll step through. stops the timer, and then once I execute the register equals timer instruction, it puts that timer data inside of the register.